All right, good morning, gang. Dan here from tradingology.com in our trading room for October 28th, which is going to be the last one for this week. We have some scheduled conflicts tomorrow, so no trading room for tomorrow. And then we're going to be taking a little bit of break. So this will be it for a little bit. We'll definitely check in after the election next week. We'll find out which day when we get there. But yeah, glad you guys could join us. This will be the last one for a little bit. And it looks like we got one heck of a day to do a blowout here.
That's for sure. Good morning, Dan.
As always, we got Dave joining us from Strong Market, so we always appreciate your time. Good morning, BD.
Yeah, very interesting time here. Added to my UUP trade this morning. I think they're undervaluing it. If you take a look at the expiration in January of 22 for that UUP, the volume, it's all on the bearish side, except for mine. I bought 200. I bought another 200 calls, the 30-40 spread, and I was the only one on the bullish side. So
we'll bring it up.
What happens, but.
Yeah, you were quick to add in. I followed you right to 200, then all of a sudden you were at 3.
Yeah, I just couldn't resist. I think that when if the market does go down, like I think it's going to go down, people are going to want to get into the dollar, and it's January 22nd, the 22 ones, yeah. And then take a look at the volume. Look at all the volume around the middle there on the left side or on the right side.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's where all the volume is. Although there's some bullish ones over there. The open interest is pretty good on the bullish side too, but those 200, those are mine.
Look at that.
I'm the only one, I guess. But I had to pay up. I had to pay 12, and then I had to go to 13 to get the last 100.
30 and a 40.
And we're not that far off from it now. I mean, it's at 25.25. I mean, to be at the money is not that far away for the time period that we have in that expiration.
Yeah, that's interesting because.
Morning, BD. Morning, Andre.
Oh, you got 150 of it. So 50, that's me. That makes more sense.
What's that?
Because we had 150 going into today, right?
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
I was like, where's my 50?
Oh yeah, that's right. So yeah, 150 is mine and 50 is yours. That's right.
I'm like, did I not get filled?
Yep. Yeah, I started with 50 to round it off to 200, and then I went to another 100. That's right.
There we go. Okay, that makes more sense now.
Yeah.
So yeah, for you guys, I have already updated the spreadsheet. I'll bring it over. I haven't updated it since Dave was too fast to add the final position. So right now it's at where did it go?
No, you got it.
Oh, I do. This is the new one right here. This one's not on the site yet, but it will be soon. The one on the site says 200. So this is where the asymmetric trades are happening, and they're actually already moving.
Yeah, they are actually. Even when we went down just a little bit, they had a kind of a daily profit, and then at the end of the day, they went kind of negative. But now they're solidly profitable.
I know you have the one I didn't get a chance to join you on is the VXX spread. What I did just personally for myself, which is already up again today, is I just grabbed some what I like to call those lottery ticket trades, whereas I just grabbed some just one-sided, where I have some 120s, which is now up because as I pull over the VXX chart, if I can find it here, we see it's obviously making new highs. And we'll see where that stops. So yeah, it looked like the box was moving yesterday. This arrow drew in yesterday. And then we got a new Darvas box forming. So yeah, there's been a lot going on, BD, that's for sure. And appreciate Lieutenant Eric joining us on the last day for this month. So appreciate it, Eric. As always, we appreciate your efforts in the trading room. Eric called out a great one. I gotta give him a shout out on this one, whereas he does like to share his levels that he works with his own quants, and he called out specifically, I think it was 32. Let me verify so I don't say it wrong. Where'd my Slack go? Boom, boom, boom. Here we go. We'll pull up. This one's in our Tradingology room. For our gold members, 32. Where'd it go, Eric? There we go. 33.25 to 33.35, which was right in here. So it came up right and touched the beginning of it for a short. And do you think that magic level didn't work? And it's still working. But yeah, I think I called out there was room to go down to 3,300. So there was a fast 20 points right there in the ES. So great job, Eric. We appreciate you guys. Yeah, it looks like he's going to be away for a bit too. It is that time of year where people are taking some time off. So just wanted to say thanks, Eric, for everything that you help out with. You're always appreciated, sir.
Yeah, thanks for stopping in, Eric. Appreciate it.
Oh, he's jumping in because he hasn't been here in a bit. Gotcha. So he might not be traveling anywhere, but as always, and we see our setup happening again. Negative 2,500, stair stepping down, another true trend day. Lining up there, and we see volume is equaling the issues. So everything is kind of that sell the rally again kind of setup. So watch for those potential bumps. And just to keep your eye on the supply and demand as well. Indexes. Let me pull that over too. We got charts everywhere today. It's a busy morning.
It is. I bought UPro puts yesterday. I had 2 days ago, or Monday, I guess it was. Yeah, Monday. I got into IWM short put position, kind of a synthetic short. I sold the calls and bought the puts.
Well, we got some big numbers on the strength side here. Negative 155 and negative 20 on the NDX. SD isn't super low compared to what we're seeing, but that strength is definitely out of this world. So Eric says he enjoys helping others to slay the big players. Suck it to him, buddy. Us little guys can fight back too sometimes, right? Just don't get greedy and take it when you can. Grab your piece.
That's right. Well, we have the advantage of being kind of light on our feet and kind of moving quickly. These big players, they can't move very quickly. They have to, I mean, and they misdirect all the time, right? Misdirect. That's their MO.
Exactly. We can be nimble, like you say, get in and out, a few contracts, micros, minis, whatever you're doing, and then take your profits and be done. I saw Isaac was doing some great work again. So good job, Isaac, if you're catching the recording. I don't see him in here yet.
Yeah, so now those YM spaces, I mean, we've got, what is that? I can't see without my glasses. But we got some big, I mean, I just not a single 5 minute.
These are 100 points.
Those are 100 right now. Yeah. So remember, like when volatility was low, you're trading maybe a 30, 40 point spread on the YM. Now it's 100 points on those boxes. Eric says, I always say I encounter a loss, I consider that a loan and I expect to be paid back with interest. That's absolutely right. It's a good attitude.
And today was the no calendar day, if I remember correctly. There was nothing on the calendar for events.
Nah, a bunch of earnings though this morning, like GE. GE's been beaten up like crazy, but is actually up this morning, or at least it was. Not quite sure if it's still there. First Solar is up 15%. There was a stock, AUVI. I had my eye on it, and then it went from like 650, and it opened up at like 1140 this morning. And what they do is they do UV protection for surfaces. Oh, it's all the way back down now. They completely sold it off. It got to a high of 1280, but yesterday it closed at 630, about 635, 636 there.
Looks like they were mean and they sold it off pre-market too.
Yeah.
Although it still opened up quite a bit up. If you had anybody was in, they could have got out up here at least for a decent gain.
Yeah. So I mean, with the pandemic and everything, they have a system to sanitize using UV lights on ATMs, so people could use ATMs without without too much worry. Yeah. So they probably build them right into the ATMs, or maybe they retrofit the ATMs for the UV Yeah, this week, that's right, Eric. Many big tickers are reporting. We got Amazon, Facebook tomorrow, and Amazon, Facebook, and Google, Alphabet. All tomorrow after the close, so that could be big.
I had sent this to Dave over the weekend too. Speaking of the ATMs and sanitizing, I was reading this as in my Sunday paper because I still like to be old school and actually read the real paper. They were talking about, let me see if I can get this in a good zoom here for you. Once again, they're trying to put fear in for the banknotes and how they're going to do, because now they're saying that it could potentially last for a month on it. And like they do call out plastic ones, which we don't obviously have here in the US. But I found that as an interesting read in a paper article. And I think that was from Bloomberg News as well as the source on it. So we'll see if they use that for part of the what's going on and, you know, scaring people and moving over to a potential crypto based markets.
Yeah, question mark, Eric, is the vaccine question mark, stimulus, absolutely. Yeah, time to be quick and nimble is right. The you know, and then the election, is really, what's going to happen? Let's say Trump wins again. Is that bad for the market? When he won the first time, the market went up how many thousands and thousands of points right after the election, right? Is the opposite going to happen this time? Is that positive or negative for the market? A Biden win is a guaranteed income tax rate increase, and they're talking about making it retroactive. So if he gets in January 1st and said, "Hey, we're repealing the tax reduction that Trump passed," then they're going to make it retroactive to January 1st, 2020. And Paul Tudor Jones, one of the guys that I follow, who's been just, the guy's a macro trader. He said, we're going to sell into the end of the year. So if that happens, we'll see. Eric says, I find it hard to imagine that we will know who's the president for the next 4 years on Wednesday morning this week. Yeah, we won't. Yeah, absolutely, we won't.
It's going to be the beginning of the court cases and litigation.
Yeah, we may go. I mean, I don't know what the longest period is that we had some questions or doubts about who was president.
Yeah, I don't recall anything long at all.
No, and there's no way they're going to have anything official on Wednesday morning. That's absolutely right.
Bush Gore was the last one, BD says.
Oh, that was a long period. How long a period? Do you remember how long that was? Was it like a few days, a week?
The hanging chads in Florida. Can't forget that one.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right. I mean, we may go a month. What happens if we go a month without knowing who's president, or even longer?
Especially in this.
It's insane.
Yeah, and with current events, that's the last thing we need is uncertainty.
So, we got a lot of stuff going on here. That's why that big risk that we were talking about, I mean, this is the kind of period where you'd say, hey, look, whatever happens, I want to at least be on the volatility side. You want to either short stocks or you want to have something in your pocket.
Speaking of which, I did find this yesterday, which I shared with Dave. We do look at the SPY minus the VXX on one of the charts, and we pulled it up, and I went back and looked at it, and I compared it to the levels at the beginning of the year back in February, March, where we were up at this, not that the number means anything, but it was right around 320, 340 area. And then we hit it again, and we had a sharp move down, and then we just did it again. And now we're continuing. So I was looking at this, and I saw we had a red arrow draw down, went up for a little bit, then it dropped. Then a second red arrow, then you can't even see it right now because I have to squeeze it in to show you. But that's when we had the big drop all the way down when everything spiked through March. And we recovered, as we all know. Then we've had it happen again where we had one red arrow. Could that be rhyming with this red arrow? And now we've had a second red arrow, which could match this one. We didn't have as big of a move down, but they're not always identical. But as we like to say, they do tend to rhyme. So we could very well be setting up for another pattern of another large drop. Potential is
Yeah.
there.
And if anybody hasn't seen it, I'll put the link in here. This is probably one of the best documentaries I've seen on the 1929 crash. That is, it's kind of eerily similar to what we're doing right now. I mean, we have not heard about a lot of retail traders in this market since 2008, 2009 until after we got the dip. And then we look like we were going into a V-shaped recovery. And then retail traders just piled in like crazy. Same exact thing happened in 1929. We had the immediate sell-off, and then all of a sudden everybody said, hey, that's the dip, we're going back in. Retail traders jumped in mass. And the similarities to both the economy, I mean, and everything else, retail traders, jumping into the market, all of this stuff, very, very, very good documentary.
Yeah, I did catch the first part of that series after we had talked about it earlier this week, and yeah, it's amazing. They do a great job.
Yeah, it was one of the better ones I've seen. So we'll see. I mean, we're down what now? 650, 222, 790 today. So we're down a couple thousand points already. Pretty close to it anyway.
Yeah.
If we go down and retest the bottom from March, yeah, one of my targets on the Dow at that time was 15,000. We didn't quite hit it. We hit about 18,000 or so. And we got cryptocurrencies down. So the dollar index started up yesterday afternoon, and it just shot up. In fact, it gapped higher on an hourly chart last night. That's pretty crazy. It gapped higher. I have not seen a gap higher on an hourly chart on the DXY in, wow, a very long time.
Yeah, the daily chart's up a month. I was going to pull that over too.
Yeah.
Hourly.
Yeah, there's the gap up. And I saw that last night and I said, oh, man, something's going to go on there. And and the daily's up. So we talked about the accumulation, the Wyckoff accumulation pattern in the DXY, which is UUP is the ETF. And the DXY is the cash index against 6 major currencies, for other currencies. Good accumulation pattern there, looking probably to attack that old high, which was back in March at 102, 103. Pretty close.
Yep, definitely that 100 range.
Yeah.
99 to 101, 98 to 101, right around there.
Yeah, that would put UUP up around 28 or so, I would imagine, at least. I don't know what was UUP at that time on March 9th. It's got to be close to. It's got to be close to there someplace. You're gonna have to go back farther than that.
Squeeze it. I'll switch this to a daily. Hold on.
Yeah. Gotta go back to March. BD, do I have a downside target for the Dow? If we do play out, I can tell you, if we do play out the 1929 scenario, we're probably looking at 10,000. Yeah, we'll see. Yeah, it hit almost 29 there.
Yeah, March we got a 28 spike and then almost 29.
Yeah. So that would pretty much put our UUP position right at the money, and we still have a year to go. Down 820 on the YM futures.
Yeah, we can take a look at that big picture. So here's the Dow previous this year, going back into 2019. So yeah, we could. I got the quadrants on there too.
Yeah, we just blew through the 75%.
Yeah, 50 could be the next one down here at 24, give or take.
Yeah. And what was that low there? 18 something, 18,226.
Yep.
I think we could, if this is what I think it is, and, who knows? I think one of the things about the stimulus, and Eric brings up a good point, is that the stimulus has been like they just have put this thing off and off and off and off. And even if they do come in, now let's say we don't get it, we don't know who the president is, right? Well, Congress can't act on anything because whoever wins the election, right? The person who's the incumbent is not going to, if they don't win, if Trump doesn't win, he's not going to sign anything into law between then January 1st. Typically, they don't do that. They will not enact anything important during that transition period. And so they're going to wait for Biden to come in, which means we're not going to get a stimulus package until after January 1st. It's just not going to happen.
2.5 months is a long time right now in this economy.
Yeah, that's right. So my downside target BD is closer to 10,000. If you put that on a weekly and kind of go way out, or we'll
go monthly.
You can go monthly if you want. I'm looking at 10,000 as a potential target, but the truth is, so we could even go down to the old lows in 2008, 2009, which is around 6,000. 10,000 is, that high, that little bump there before we went down in 2008, 2009. So it's like 2007, the 2007 high maybe. I guess it's a little bit below that.
We'll adjust this so it's better for you guys to see it. Whoops, not that many.
But I think anything is possible at this point. The thing that I'm going to be looking for as a bottom is when the 30-year Treasury rates, the nominal rates, get close to zero. When they start to get down around 0.5%, TLT will have spiked by then. It's going to massive spike. If we get down around 0.5% on the 30-year, then I'm going to be watching for a very sharp rate increase in nominal rates and in interest rates. When I see that, I'm going to go back into commodities, get out of the dollar, go into commodities, go into cryptocurrencies. I don't know when that's going to happen. I'm just waiting for that event. So that's my downside target. My downside target really isn't on the stock market. It's really on interest rates, especially on the 30-year. Eric says, how many on Wall Street are expecting Powell to step in when VIX prints above 40, which just hit this morning? Powell can step in all he wants, but he has absolutely no influence on the markets. Well, he has, because he talks about the markets and saying he's going to support them, but they actually don't do anything for the markets at all. If anything, the Federal Reserve actually takes liquidity out of the market because they're taking treasury bonds, they're buying the bonds, putting them into onto their balance sheet, and then crediting the reserves to the banks, but it doesn't provide any liquidity. The only liquidity that they can provide to the market is confidence. They also might need something else. They might need something completely different than that. Basically, they're just jawboning. They're not really providing any liquidity to the markets. BD says, I thought BlackRock was buying stocks. Yeah, they are. Yeah, but they're not stupid. They're not going to come in and buy when the market's down 861 points unless they want to catch a falling knife. They're just like anybody else. They want to make a profit on the stocks that they buy. But they're not buying them. They're buying them on behalf of, they're buying them. They're a lot of the stuff that they're buying are the corporate treasuries, I believe, or the corporate treasuries. Eric says that my belief is Powell wants to stick it to Trump and won't step in until after the election. It could be because Trump has been riding him since he got in. So yeah, that's possible. BD says with treasury funds? No, they're not buying. No, I don't think they're buying them with treasury funds. They're holding on to their treasury funds. So maybe they do have an arrangement. I do remember that, but I haven't looked into it. But most of the big banks are holding on to onto the short end of the treasury, the notes and the bills. they're holding on to those as cash equivalents. I don't think they're using them to buy stocks, at least not yet.
Well, and how long will it be until we're talking about, or they're floating around limit down days again? We're halfway there, 3%. If we start hitting limits again, like we did early, and watch out. I always keep an eye on that too. If we start getting those 1,000+ day moves, be wary. If you are being nimble, make sure you're not being nimble around a potential limit down area, because you don't want to get stuck on the wrong side if it opens back up reversed. So I always remember that as this volatility builds again, those limit downs will come into play.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, the Federal Reserve is buying through a special purpose vehicle, corporate bonds. I can't remember the deal with BlackRock though. Do you remember, BD, what they're doing? Because maybe they're buying stocks, but where are they getting the money to buy them? It's not from the Federal Reserve. They can't do it through the Federal Reserve.
Well, that was their new loophole, right? Is they were using those guys to buy things when they couldn't technically do it.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, maybe. Well, the special purpose vehicles are buying the corporate bonds, but I'm not sure about stocks. Yeah, it's SPV. I thought, man, maybe you're right. Treasury funds. Okay, well, maybe the Treasury is going in and buying stocks. So, but you know, they're on the losing side of that trade today.
Blue light special. Everything's on sale.
Yeah, we'll see. You know, still no trade deal with China. That's been going on for 2 years. Now we're in a Cold War with them.
Thank you, Eric. Good to see you, man. Have a good season if I don't talk to you soon, but I'm sure we'll see you in the room. So
yeah, take care, Eric. We're going to come back after the election. Feel free to stop in anytime.
Yes, we'll wrap her up here. We're getting around to the top of the hour, so we won't be gone forever for the trading rooms. And for you guys that are in there, remember Dave's Wealth Masterclass is Friday. It was moved from tomorrow to Friday for some schedule conflicts on Thursday. That's why the trading room will not be on. But we will be at, we'll do one day next week after the election. We'll see what happens. We'll find out what day works best for Dave and I, and we can jump on, and then it'll be sporadic between there and the end of the year. So maybe here and there, or just some other short videos. But we won't be doing the regular Monday through Thursday at this point. So we'll look for here and there, catch the recordings if you can. But we appreciate you guys, and take care. And if you got any final thoughts, Dave, I'd love to hear it.
Just hold on to those asymmetric positions if you got them. Otherwise, trade nimble, like Eric says, and just try to get in and out of positions when you can, and take your profits early and often. All right, guys, safe trading to you too, Tim. Bye, BD.
Yeah, appreciate it, Tim, BD.
Kyle, thanks for stopping in. Andre, always a pleasure.
Watch the real-time update service for updates to those asymmetric trades. I wouldn't say never too late, BD, just don't overpay for it. You know, don't pay too much. So
UUP is still, I think, a bargain here at 13 cents on those strikes, but
yeah, UUP is
right now
for sure. That's the best one. That's the farthest one out. It's 450 days until expiration. So we got forever on those.
Right. All right, guys, have a great day. Bye, Dan.
See you, everyone. Appreciate it.
See you Friday.
All right.